Roger Moore, born in 1927 in London, England, was another towering figure in cinema, remembered most for his suave, tongue-in-cheek portrayal of James Bond across 7 films between 1973 and 1985. Unlike Connery, who emphasized Bond's physicality and danger, Moore brought a lighter, more comedic touch to the role, leaning into charm, wit, and sophistication. Before his Bond years, Moore enjoyed success on television, particularly in the 1960s with The Saint, where he played Simon Templar, a gentleman adventurer who would serve as a template for his later Bond persona. By the time he debuted as 007 in Live and Let Die, 1973, Moore was already a familiar face to audiences and had the maturity and self-assurance to make the role his own. Over the next 12 years, in films like The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977, and For Your Eyes Only, 1981, he gave audiences a version of Bond that was less brooding and more playful, filled with clever one-liners, eyebrow raises, and a sense of fun that distinguished his era. Moore's Bond era was also notable for its experimentation with large-scale stunts and exotic storytelling. Films such as Moonraker, 1979, which took Bond into space, and Octopussy, 1983, with its circus intrigue, reflected the extravagance of 1970s and 1980s blockbusters. While critics sometimes debated whether his approach lacked the grit of Connery or Dalton, Moore's version of Bond was incredibly popular, and his run remains the longest in the official franchise. Outside of Bond, Moore pursued a range of roles in film and television, though none rivaled his association with 007. Still, his collaborations in films like The Wild Geese, 1978, alongside Richard Burton and Richard Harris, and The Cannonball Run, 1981, a comedy ensemble film, demonstrated his versatility and willingness to embrace different genres. What set Moore apart was his ease on screen. He never seemed to take himself too seriously, which made him endearing to fans worldwide. Beyond acting, Roger Moore's life was deeply defined by his humanitarian work. After retiring from Bond, he dedicated much of his energy to charitable causes, particularly through his role as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, a position he held from 1991 until his death. His commitment to children's welfare earned him numerous awards and recognition, and he often expressed that this humanitarian work meant more to him than his film career. Moore was knighted in 2003 for his services to charity and entertainment, a rare honor that acknowledged both his cinematic contributions and his humanitarian spirit. He passed away in 2017 at the age of 89, but his legacy endures as the Bond who brought levity and elegance to the franchise, a beloved television and film star, and a man who used his fame to make the world a better place. For fans, Roger Moore will always be remembered with a smile, the gentleman spy who could save the day with a wink and an eyebrow raise. Mary Farrell Fawcett, February 2, 1947, June 25, 2009. Fawcett began her career in 1968 in commercials and guest roles on television. During the 1970s, she appeared in numerous television series, including recurring roles on Harry O., 1974-76, and The $6 Million Man, 1974-78, with then-husband, film and television star Lee Majors. She rose to international fame when she posed for her iconic red swimsuit poster and starred as private investigator Jill Monroe in the first season of Charlie's Angels. In 1983, Fawcett received positive reviews for her performance in the off-Broadway play Extremities. She was subsequently cast in the 1986 film version and received a Golden Globe nomination. She received 2 Emmy Award nominations for her roles in TV movies, as a battered wife in the 1984 film The Burning Bed, and as real-life murderer Diane Downs in the 1989 film Small Sacrifices. Her 1980s work in TV movies also earned her 4 additional Golden Globe nominations. In 1996, she was ranked number 26 on TV Guide's 50 Greatest TV Stars of All Time. Fawcett was diagnosed with cancer in 2006. And in 2009, the TV documentary Farrah's Story, chronicling her battle with the disease, aired on NBC. For her work as a producer on the documentary, she posthumously earned her 4th Emmy nomination. She died on June 25, 2009, age 62, and is buried at Westwood Memorial Park,